It was the year 2020. I was working away, just hand scrubbing these dishes, scrubbing these pots and pans, and the air was filled with a strong sense of grease. It was hard to breathe, and I looked to my right. There was a line of customer that are waiting for their menu to be taken. I took a sip of the drink that I had on my right. As I wiped down the sweat that I had from the hot of the kitchen and the I wiped down the sweat with the rag that I had behind my back. And I walked out. It was a small counter the size of a bed, and it just have this block where it was clear where you can see all the pizza and all of the sweet that they give customers as well. I took a deep breath and asked, "What do you like today?" They give me a long list of order of I want pepperoni, garlic cheese, cheese pizza, Italian, I want this. I skirted my hand, over, scooped the pizza, and there was an oven behind my back. It was a very hot oven. I went to grab it, and without noticing, I tossed all the pizza in, and while I was tossing it in, the oven was open, so my whole bottom of my hand was pressed against this extremely steaming hot, maybe 100 degrees Celsius hot oven, and it burned my whole hand, and like there was blister on it. I can see it, and I know that after that day I was gonna, have a scar from it. My face, just make this quick just to, deal with the pain. I just toss everything in, finish the order. Look to my right, and there was a clock hanging. So that's the place where I spend most of my eyes on. I just keep staring at the clock, looking for a way to, an excuse to be out of here. A time where I can leave. And I couldn't. I really couldn't. Thought was going in my head was like, yeah, I can't do this right now. The thing is tough. I enjoy talking to people on the counter, but how am I gonna be able to sustain myself doing this job and make enough money where I can live for the rest of my life? So I looked to my right. There was this clock hanging on the wall, and 4 hours has passed. It was 7 o'clock, and I just keep staring at that. 7 turned to 8, 8 turned to 9. As soon as it hit 10 o'clock, I walked back into the place where they stored the mop and the broom. I swept like my hand was going so fast. I was going left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, and just to make sure that I could get out of here as fast as possible. This pizza shop has a back door, so as soon as I was done, I walked myself out the back door, and without saying bye or saying like have a good day or something like that to my owner or to my co-worker, I got on the bike and left as soon as possible. And I remember each pedal I take home seemed like eternity. It seemed like that I was biking for more than an hour. My foot felt heavy, and when I went up a hill, I couldn't breathe. You might think, oh, I'm obese. But it wasn't that. It was because I just don't want to be there anymore. And the home was the destination that I was looking for. This was all to be repeated again tomorrow. Everything tomorrow. That thought made my hand tremble. I wasn't lazy or I didn't want to work. I just feel not fulfilled doing those type of things. So next morning, I kept going to that 9 to 5 day after day, and it was the end of summer. My whole summer wasted away working the 9 to 5 that I don't even enjoy. Hours of my life just slaving away at washing the dishes or wiping on the counter, taking order from a client. It was painful, but I decided that 9 to 5 wasn't for me anymore, unless there is some sort of skill associated with it. I took up a job at a pool company where they had me work the counter. The thoughts that I had in my mind was that when I get a job at this pool company, I could potentially interact with their sales department. And what that will do is I could learn a valuable skill of sales from their department. And weeks, month coming in, I was just working away at the counter, and it was a good job. I'll be honest, it was a really, really good job. They treated me nice, they paid me good, and that made me complacent. I never made the effort that originally I have gone for, which is going out into the sales department when I have break and ask about how they would do their sales, what type of marketing they would do, and stuff that I could learn for the future. I've got complacent. I decided to stay in one place and just be comfortable. And personally, that just didn't stick well with me. So when one day I was walking down the street And there was one friend that I had who had a dad who have a dad who is the CEO, and that moment changed my life. I was like, if his dad can sustain a whole family and more by owning himself their own business, what does it take for me to become the same? So I went home. I had this little corner to myself. I remember it was just my PC setup, my screen. I have two screens. I have two screens aside, and I would just look on how to become rich. I would read book like Think and Grow Rich. They talk about how to become better in life, what you should pursue as an entrepreneur, what type of work you should do, what type of niche you should be in. I spent day in and day out studying that. And personally, I didn't quit that job yet. So every day I would still be going to that pool company to work, and when I have free time, I went in and just watch videos on sales. And personally, when that happened, my life changes. The idea that I could become a CEO without going to a 4-year college, 6-year college, really changed my life. I decided to pursue that path of entrepreneur. I, bid farewell to the company that I work with and keep going to my passion and explore the entrepreneurship path. There was a lot of challenges, because the whole point of this video was going to be me ranting about 9 to 5, but really it's just not that. It's just that when I worked at 9 to 5, I was either miserable or too comfortable. And that will never make me a better man that my children will admire. I took the step of entrepreneurship to build a business that's bigger than myself so I can sustain my family in the future. And starting out, it was really a challenge, because it is a 9 to 5 time 10. What you're doing is you are ahead of a company and you are doing everything on your own, from managing the client to closing them to getting the client and everything after that. And for me, that was challenging, and in no way in hell I could stay comfortable doing those things, because I can always strive for better. Thinking back on it, that decision was one of the best decisions of my life. And I was persistent through and through, because I really wasn't miserable at all. Every call I took, even though it was rejection over and over again, it was fun. Like, I was learning a new skill. There was a smile on my face every single time. I was like, hey, I gotta work. I was like, yes, I gotta work. And that really struck out to me. And so it made me realize that when I'm in a zone where my mind is just focused, I was just, deadlocked, typing it away, talking to a client. Those type of business fulfill me. I feel complete compared to something like a 9 to 5 where I'm just miserable half the time. It wasn't fun. And getting rejected is not fun either. But it is something that show me and myself that I am growing as a person. It's something for me to compare myself to. And I was working month after month with no paycheck because how much I enjoy the work. You might sound like, hey, you are dumb for enjoying work, or this would cause a burnout. Yeah, I've experienced that multiple times. But unlike a 9 to 5, I always get back and continue no matter the situation. Because I know this is something that I am passionate about. That really did change my life. I became a person who was never really locked by the social norm of society. I really wasn't a person who believed in common sense anymore. As dumb as that sound, but common sense for me is just something that I test out, and if it's right, if it's checked out, then it's checked out. If it doesn't, then it's a new way for me to learn and grow. By going against the common sense, life is different. When you are a different person that go against the society norms to escape the rat race, everyone, your mom, your dad, your uncle, your aunt is stuck into, you feel a certain sense of confidence in yourself. You have to, because you are head of company now. Your decision, the step that you take, need to be confident. Because in no way I am gonna go back to that 9 to 5. Because no matter how well they treat me, they can't pay me enough to be comfortable and stay there and never progress my life more, or spend the rest of my life miserable. Again, this whole video is just me and my experience on 9 to 5 and why I can never work a 9 to 5 again, because it's not fulfilling and it's something that isn't my calling. But by no means this is an anti 9 to 5 type of video. People enjoy their work, and if that bring purpose to them, whether it's flipping McDonald's or to becoming a doctor, a lawyer, if that bring purpose and if that make them happy, then by the end of the day, no matter how much you work, you only have 24 hours a day. So if you enjoy that 24-hour that you're doing, then by all means, keep doing it. Yeah, that's my reason of why I will never work a 9 to 5 ever again. Yep. And if you resonate with this message, then maybe it's time for you to take action and change yourself for the better. Other than that, see you later.